We next talk to Lisa Sears, a Malden-based artist who works with water-based media on paper and canvas. When she saw the call for art around Malden's climate action plan, she was both inspired and challenged. She wanted to create work that not only captured the urgency of the issue, but also encouraged deeper reflection and action. Like the other artists we have talked to, Sears sees art as a tool for engagement to bring people together and to spark conversations.
Two very different things. On the one hand, I was super excited because I think it's a really important topic for people to consider, think about, talk about, communicate around. And then in another way was a little frustrated of how to make this a meaningful reaction to the topic because the topic is so very important. And I didn't want to just put something out there that's sort of like, the sky is falling, there's no hope, it's all over. It's like, what is something that would be actually conductive to getting people to take action or to think? So yeah, that was my honest first reaction was excitement, but then also a little bit of frustration. Well, a lot of my art is related to, I think, trying to convey an emotional response to the world, what I personally am feeling, but also hoping that if I put out my feelings, my symbols, my expressions, that it's going to help other people maybe unlock something in their brain or maybe help them have a conversation with another person. Basically, hoping that I can communicate with them in a way. I'm putting it out there for them. I'm putting art out there for them and then allowing them to take it wherever they want to go. But I am hopeful that when someone comes across my art, that they're not just saying, yeah, that's pretty, or there's red there, but more that what are the symbols here? What is she trying to say? Or maybe they're with another person and they're actually having a conversation. So I do work literally using humans, animals, people, plants. I work in not a realistic style. I think I work in a dreamy style because I love the idea of transference and overlapping, translucent rather than opaque. So, and I love the idea that there's more than one way to consider something, more than one way to view it. So I'll purposely have some open-endedness to my work. So I've always been interested in school. It I was in painting and drawing. So specifically, I got an art degree in studio arts, and I worked in printing and painting and photography. But I always came back to 2D and wanting to use symbols and use recognizable elements in my artwork. So I guess I could easily say I'm not an abstract expressionist. I'm more expressionist. So I think that is conducive also to this topic in that I'm hoping to open people's minds and allow them to think in a less binary way and not in a preachy way about this topic, because it is a very emotional topic for some people. Either they feel blamed or they feel despondent or they feel that it's not related to them. So I was hopeful that through symbols and colors that I might be able to work with people. Well, I had two pieces that were accepted. One is an offshoot from a project I've been working on for many years now, which is about identity and the idea of home, what a person considers to be their home. And that could be from a emotional standpoint, or that could actually be an immigrant coming into a new country. When do they feel accepted? When do they feel that they've come to a place of home? And from that, I had used a lot of pictures of some of my old ancestors and their feet, and the idea of they're planted on the earth. And so I've been working on this project for a long time, and the way it's related here is that when I started hearing about fires in various areas from Australia, California, even we had some fires in Massachusetts, um, my thinking about the land and how we are connected to it started to intensify. So one picture a painting I have is called "We Are the Land," and it's very simple actually. It's just a person, female, standing on ground, and in the background there's field lines, but they're fallow. So maybe there's seeds in there, and there's growth, and there's uh, uh, life, or maybe they've been burned and it's it can't, the soil is dead, or what, something extreme. So I've left that open. And then next to the human form, I have layered all kinds of garbage, basically. Nothing recognizable but bits of paper and string and wire. And the idea, my thinking was, what are we leaving behind for future generations? Almost we're building a new crust on the earth. Um, and so I painted on top of it, but if one's looking at the painting, you could actually see various layers. And I'd like one of the takeaways to be like, what are we leaving behind? Are we leaving back um, rich, vital soil? Are we leaving life-giving elements behind? Are we leaving plastic straws and flotsam and jetsam and, terrible things behind? So I kind of leave that to the viewer. But um, so it's not like a this, that, but I did purposefully sort of divide up the canvas somewhat. So you could kind of think about what sort of world do you want. So when I say with the title, "We Are the Land," I think that you and I, everything that's out there, everything we breathe, we ingest, that's all part of what makes us human, both from a physical, but also mental and spiritual, right? If people are suffering with pollution, if they have trouble breathing and seeing, that's going to affect their emotional state as well as their physical state. Um, and then the other painting is flowers, fence, and fire, and that's also related to fire. And that one is more abstract, but also more, I think, attainable in that it's kind of fire is everywhere. It doesn't matter who you are or what you look like or what your economic background is. Fire will move, and that it can be very destructive. And so that it's not like a person can say, "Oh, the environment's out there somewhere. It's not inside. It's not here." It's like, no, 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 no. The environment, we are all part of it. We're all connected to this, and we are all responsible. So even I was thinking this summer, there were some fires in other parts of Massachusetts, and it was affecting the air quality here. So even as I was concerned for people in towns many ways over, I was realizing, gee, is it just me, or does the sky look a little cloudy or hazy or gray? And then later on the radio, I heard, yeah, some people have been reacting to it. I'd like for people to remember that we are responsible for the environment. It is part of us, and it is all around us, and that we can do, an individual can do positive things that will make the environment better for all of us. And particularly, I would love for people to take away from at least my art, maybe the whole show, but that they are not helpless. They are, that their actions actually matter and can make a positive good. And that the more people who feel that they can make a positive good, the better things will be. So I would hope that a person would come away looking at something that I've made, in particular these pieces, engaged and interested, maybe a little concerned, but ultimately, I would hope that they would feel, I could do this or that. I could try this, or maybe I should talk to some other people and we could consider A, B, or C. Well, yeah, that's what an interesting question. Um, I recently have had experiences that are a combination of information and action at the same time. And I think that that can be really energizing, and it can have longer lasting effects, so that you have a person has an experience, but then they take that experience away and they continue with it. So having a space where you could get intergenerational people together to work on an art project together, but also have a heading related to science, so that, yeah, maybe there would be a little bit of research ahead of time, and maybe that would be part of the conversation and the topics, and then maybe working together on a project. So, what do you need for art? You need a nice big open space that people feel comfortable in. But I would love the ideas. Uh, let's say you get an educator and you get a scientist and you get an artist together with a group of open-minded kids, adults, elders, and work on a project together, and not so much worry about. I think sometimes the problem with these larger funded projects is that you have to have this thing that comes out of it, this concrete thing, and everybody wants to look at the thing, but they don't think about how the experience and the doing, that's a big thing right there. The brains have been activated, and if 10 people work on a project together, they may have that experience and carry it forward for months and share it with other people, as opposed to you've got this thing. So yeah, having an experience and thinking about what gets activated in the brain, let that be more of a focus than worrying about a thing you get to take photos of afterwards, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no.
It's the process, the experience is more important than the output, because the idea is that it doesn't stop on that day. You have an experience, your brain has been changed, so you're going to go forward in a new direction, or you're going to take what you've learned and share it with others and extend it. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Support for the Civic SciTV network comes from viewers, readers, and listeners like you. Visit civicscitv.org to learn more.